Good morning, Apathetic Dev here. Today's thoughts, what I've been thinking about yesterday and today is this whole gender identity movement, where you can be whatever you want to be. The truth is the reason why this doesn't sit well with conservatives is because a lot of them are farmers or born on farms, raised on farms. All it doesn't make sense. There are two sexes. You either have a male or you got a female. You don't have an in between. Now, if something goes on and you're male or female, uh, doesn't work, you get something to fix that. You don't just say, oh, that's just how they are. No, because there's something wrong with them biologically if they can't do what they're supposed to do when they're male and female. That that's just one of those things that just doesn't make sense to them. We have this ingrained, in our biological structures in our body. We're ingrained male or female. There's no this, that, whatever, they, them. Now, I find it weird that we're trying to purposely just go after gender. That's not really your identity. Why are we purposely finding one thing to make our identity and then destroying it? See, I don't identify as a lot of stuff, but I am a male. I am he, him. But I'm not your normal guy. No matter how much I would like to be, I am weird. I do have some strange tweaks that people need to know about me when they deal with me. But that isn't the identity of me, who I am. Not in the identity of if I'm male or female or what gender I am. It's I identify with my identity, not my gender that I want to identify with. So why are we in this scenario where we think people have to agree that you're biologically not a boy or girl, male or female, even though you most certainly are, just because you want to be thought of it as something different? Now, one thing that came to my mind is we don't give nicknames like we used to. People used to grow up with nicknames, and that often became their identity. Like that, you knew who Jimmy was because, and you had an idea as soon as you saw Jimmy, of his character because Jimmy was Jimmy. And in fact, when I was growing up, we called everybody knew who I was because I was Matt, and I did silly stuff, and they were like, "Oh, you got matted." I mean, if somebody did the same stuff I did, they would say, "You were acting like Matt. You were your identity. It was who you were." So even though I was different, strange or weird, or did things that were silly or something that somebody could actually classify as my who I am, it it became my identity. It's who I am, and people can recognize your identity. Now, your gender, people can also recognize that, and the only way to alter that is to purposely try to go against your identity, and that requires men wearing makeup, women wearing very tight fitting, bras and um, getting different haircuts. There's so much stuff that you have to do to change the way you look just to try to say your gender is different. But you know what? You could do all that stuff and still be a female or still be a male. And you could live your life that way. But that doesn't mean we have to agree on that line. We don't have to call it your gender, it's your identity. We call them, girls that like to do stuff, we used to call them tomboys. There was nothing wrong with being a tomboy. No one cared if you grew up to be a tomboy. Uh, Men, on the other hand, you guys got all sorts of stuff for being very girly. Um, and in real life, men, you need to step up and you need to be manly. You need to prepare yourself to take care of your family and to lead this your family, your country, um, your workplaces. That's your role. So you can't just slack down. Um, he, but that's not your identity. Is not your gender. It never is. It never should be. Just like your identity shouldn't be your race, shouldn't be your eye color, shouldn't be your hair color. When we get to these types of things where we start narrowing the scope of what someone's identity is, it sounds a lot like a little situation we had years ago. Uh, Most people probably watching this won't know what that is, but there was a time where you had to be blue eyed, blonde hair. There was what they called the Aryan race, where people identified as Nazis. Now, don't let your skin color, your hair, your glorious beard, if it needs to be, your clothing, be your identity. Let it be you. So that was what's been on my mind. Hope you guys have a great day. Apathetic Development, you guys have a great day.